Hi, I'm Fred from Skyways to Highways, and with the RV we just bought for our trip to Alaska this year, we did 3 upgrades over the weekend. You'll see our new washer and dryer we installed, how we customized our new memory foam mattress to fit the new tire pressure monitoring system we just upgraded to. All the links will be provided below. Well, one thing we did was when we bought the RV, there wasn't a mattress for it. And if you spend any time with the RV doing some research with the RVs, there's so many different sizes of mattresses. And technically this is a king, but this part here is a slide out, which goes right in and closes everything, right and butts up to it. So a conventional king wouldn't work with springs and whatnot. So we bought a foam mattress, and you can find them Sam's, Costco, Amazon, eBay, Walmart. You can find them anywhere. Because I don't want to say they're the same, but the concept is the same, the thought process behind it. And so we found an extremely firm one for $200. I mean, it's phenomenal, but it's a standard king. So I had to trim it to size, because you'll see here, that's all I have of board. I mean, it's okay to overlap a little bit, but when you're sitting on the end of it, the whole mattress will just sink with you. So sitting and laying down in it is perfect at this length. So what I did was, you can cut foam real easy. Really sharp blades. You can use a hacksaw. You can use a finishing saw. This one is an old one I got. It's a Craftsman. I don't even think they make it anymore, but I didn't use it on that. I basically used these knives. I sharpened them up, but now they're extremely dull because going through foam will dull them. And one other thing I had to do here, you can see the indentation. I cut it along here as well because it was just about 1.5 inches too wide for this lip. It's a perfect example of how to save money and not go overboard on some of these mattresses. The mattress industry alone is it's pretty competitive. So we did let it open up. I did unroll it. I let it sit for 48 hours. I opened up all the windows so all the toxic fumes, the VOCs as they call them, could escape the RV, because with any type of plastic, foam, or anything, even new cars, it gives off those vapors. So that was one project we did. Well, when we bought the RV, one of the things we noticed was that not only the mattress was missing, the previous owner took that with him, but he also took the washer and dryer. So I had to go on, in fact, I went on Amazon for these. These are made for the marine industry, for yachting. Pretty familiar. I've had boats. I know what goes in and out of them. In fact, the extra water pump I bought for this RV when we're on the road in case the current one dies is made specifically for the marine industry. It's a bilge pump. Those things are incredible. So these are called Equator. They're not cheap. I think the washing machine was $1,100. The dryer was $800. It's smaller than your standard size washing machine, but it's still 150 pounds. And you can see that's a high step. Not to mention bringing it into the RV. I bought some lifting straps. I had one of our sons and his friend come over, and they helped me squeeze it into the RV. And then I went behind it and did all the hookups. And once I had them all hooked up, I had to put water in the RV, make sure I'm on power, and I did a load. And it works great. In fact, it's just like our big GEs that we have at the house. These are really nice. They won't rust. They won't corrode. They're all stainless steel. The only thing I had to do with the dryer was just swap the door. And it's real simple. It's just 4 screws and moving this plate there, moving that plate there. And that was it. I did have to take these doors off. Not a big deal. 6 screws, 3 hinges, popped, and they popped right off. And of course, I have a vent on this RV, which was perfect because we bought the dryer with a vent. I'm really, really happy. It turned out really well. I did do the attaching just so it wouldn't shift around. Ideally, we're only going to be running this in the campground. I don't want to be running it while we're driving it because I don't want to have anything happen to the rolling mechanism in the drive system. So it'll be best when we're only stationary. So that was another big project that luckily it only took about 3 to 4 hours to get everything in and running, which was perfect. It was just getting this big thing into the RV. And the perfect thing about these, since they're made for the yacht industry, they're only 22 inches and I could slide it through our door, which the RV door is 24, 25 inches with the door on it. So I didn't have to take the door off on the RV and I slid it right through. So it worked perfectly. Well, when we bought the rig, it came with a tire pressure monitor. It was called a Link, but it wasn't really recording properly. I changed the batteries and whatnot, and we also lost one of the sensors. And for 2 sensors, it was like $100. And I wanted something else because if you see here on the monitor, you'll see all the 6 tires of the A-Class. That's the axle in the back. But there's also here, I have it set up for towing a Toad. So when we get our Toad, I'll also know the tire pressure there. So if I have any problems with the braking system, say like it's locking for some reason, or a bearing is going bad and the tire is getting really hot or it might blow, I'll have a good indication before it happens. It's one of these things that is in every car now and you just accept it for what it is. It's kind of like the backup light that's been installed for the last 20 some odd years. So this is really cool. No matter how much money you spend on these silly things, they don't come with a tire monitor, which surprises me. But for this, and I don't remember what we paid for this.
$350.
So it was about $350, but at least I can have this on while we're driving, and I could just look at it, glance at it every now and then. And you can see the pressure's off a little bit right now because once we have it fully loaded up, I'll take it to the scales and find out what our weights truly are, and I might have to shift some weight. And along with that, I have Michelin tires on this rig, and they're new, but I've got a tire chart that they come out with, which is really cool because it'll tell you how much the tire can take and what pressure it should be at. How many pounds, not only of air, but how much pounds of the RD is on that tire, that particular tire, like the front ones versus the rears. So it's a really handy thing. I did have to, since the old one was mounted here, I took that off. I had to crawl underneath the dash and rewire because it's a USB-C, not the tiny USB that the previous cable was in. So that took a little bit of time fishing that out. But I put it back and I actually wound up having to drill a hole through the mounting bracket here because it wouldn't stick because of this texture. No big deal. I just used the previous holes from the other mount. And I just snapped it right in there. This took all of less than an hour, and most of that time was putting the sensors on and taking the old ones off, putting the new ones on, and just adjusting the tire pressure a little bit better than what they all were. So I'll definitely refine this later on as time goes on, especially when we go out on our first road trip. Okay, in the kit, not only does it come quick instruction manual, right here you could just pick your type of rig, which was real easy and convenient, and then the screen populates to represent that picture. And of course, they're all numbered, and so it was really easy to do on your own. You really didn't have to do much. You didn't have to program it, anything like that. It just worked right away. And so this is a really handy book as well. Like I said, I didn't have to program anything. I just popped them in and wait for them to pop up. So that was really cool. And whatever you do, when you do add things to your rig, whether it's something like this or say like a microwave or something else, take the manual with you. It's not going to do you any good with the manual sitting in your house. I've got all the manuals for the RV for all the appliances up here, and that includes the chassis, the one that came for the generator. Everything is in there, as well as the new Starlink that I have to install and the TVs.